Tottenham Hotspur's phone buzzed last week, carrying the same name on the display that has been lighting up Barcelona's inbox of late, Marc Casado. According to Sport Insider whispers, Spurs, fresh from lifting the UEFA Europa League trophy and sealing a return to the Champions League stage, decided to test the water on the 21-year-old La Masia graduate. Picture the scene, the UEFA anthem fading in the background as Tottenham's recruitment team scrolls through tapes of Casado's composed touches, seeking reinforcements to shore up their engine room. The question dangling in the London air was simple: could Casado be the missing piece in a midfield already craving fresh legs and youthful flair? But just as the chant of a "Come on you Spurs" echoed in the boardroom, the answer was already clear. Oh, Casado isn't going anywhere. What happens when desire meets determination? Since January, Casado's boots have clattered in the shadows of Camp Nou, warming the bench more often than the pitch. Yet those brief cameos have been enough to spark curiosity across Europe. Imagine the flicker of stadium lights on his slicked back hair, the hushfall of thousands as he surveys his surroundings before spraying passes like a painter filling a canvas. His performances, though occasional, have drawn eyes from London to Madrid. Chelsea's scouts have nudged their boss about a move, and Atletico Madrid's directors have whispered in corridors about luring him across the city. Still, none of these overtures has budged the player's rock-solid resolve. He wants to stay in Barcelona. But what fuels a young man's loyalty in modern football's swirling marketplace? From Barca's vantage point, Casado sits in a unique spot. The hierarchy is clear. Xavi's successors aren't eager to part with homegrown talent unless the stars align. Those stars would have to form an exceptional financial offer constellation, coupled with the player himself waving goodbye. Neither condition has materialized. No blockbuster bids, no hint of desire from Casado's camp to move on. Instead, club insiders speak warmly of his attitude, how he lingers after training, runs extra drills, and laughs easily in the dressing room. Yet this warmth resides alongside a nagging question: will the flame of opportunity burn bright enough for him to break into a midfield creaking with talent? Can passion alone carve a path through competition? As Tottenham's flirtation fizzled, their gaze drifted elsewhere, namely to Bayern Munich's Joao Palhinha. Reports hint at a lone sweetener, a storyline that seemed to tick all boxes: experience, hustle, immediate impact. Spurs slipped the Casado dossier back into the file, the corners turning dog-eared from repeated handling. Meanwhile, Casado has remained at Barca, training under the Mediterranean sun that casts long shadows across Ciutat Esportiva Joan Gamper. He lace-ups his boots with the same care as ever, listening to the hum of drills, feeling the grass's damp coolness under his soles, eyes set firmly on the horizon. Yet the horizon is crowded. What storm might break at the start of La Liga? Hansi Flick's blueprint for 2025-26 seems etched in stone. Frenkie de Jong will patrol the defensive midfield like a chess grandmaster, orchestrating moves from deep with measured calm. Behind him whispers talk of Mark Bernal's recovery, a swift return from injury slated for September, bringing more dynamism to the engine room. Casado stands on the periphery, a talented understudy waiting for a curtain call that might never come. His heart pounds with the echo of the stadium, drums reverberating through his chest, a call to arms he yearns to answer. Yet the empty spaces on the team sheet remind him of how thin the margins are in elite football. Will the early matches decide his fate? Barcelona have earmarked their first two La Liga fixtures in August as a litmus test. The fixtures will play out under the scorching Spanish sun, grass blades glinting as players sprint across them. Each kick, each tackle, each pass will whisper possibilities of breakthroughs or signal the need for pruning the squad's excess. If fringe players fall behind, it could open gates, otherwise those gates might stay bolted. For Casado, every training touch feels like a heartbeat, a reminder that for now he is in the fight. He watches his teammates rehearse set pieces, hears the clink of water bottles as coaches shout instructions, tastes the salt on his lips in the mid-morning heat. It's a world alive with promise and peril. Which side will prevail? Through it all, Casado remains a study in quiet conviction. He strides onto the training pitch with shoulders square, inhaling the familiar blend of fresh-cut grass and chalk lines. Inside, questions swirl. Is my time coming? Will this summer's close bring a surprising twist? His gaze drifts to the stadium, to the waiting seats that will one day echo with cheers for him. He refuses to bow to doubt, drills his free kicks with the same intensity as a finale in a cup final. Hears the imaginary roar of fans applauding each strike. His commitment is as visible as the golden Barcelona crest stamped on his chest. Barça, for their part, have no rush to ship him out. They'd rather see him emerge battle-scarred and triumphant. So what's next for Marc Casado? The coming weeks will carry the answer. August's first whistle will crack through the summer stillness, splitting certainty from speculation. As Casado laces up for pre-season friendlies, he knows the stakes. Each minute could be his stepping stone or his stumbling block. He's ready to press forward, senses tingling with anticipation, heart thrumming like a bass drum in a packed stadium. For Tottenham, the brief dalliance fades into memory. For Barcelona and Casado, the real story is only beginning. And just when you think you know how it ends, the next chapter unfolds in a flash of colour, a sudden turn, and a question hanging in the air. Will Marc Casado rise, or will he remain waiting in the wings? Stay tuned, because in football, anything can happen.